So posted 2 videos today. The other one was specifically about metacognition or thinking about the way you think. Be sure to check that video out. This right here that I'm about to say is more so specifically anger management based. It's a little story. So as you know, this is the 10th, well, you might not know, but this is the 10th anger management video. I'm trying to keep numbers on these things, keep track of these things and whatnot. It's just 10, it's not a lot, but hey, just check it out. So what I want to say about anger management today in this video is, touch a little bit on the feeling of, self-harm, right? I'm not talking about like suicide and things like that, because that's the far end of self-harm. But because of me dealing with my anger issues, like when I was younger, and I've been talking about this a lot, again, with my girlfriend, talk a lot about stuff, and even at work, I was actually talking to a coworker about some of this stuff. And this thing is, like, when you're younger, you don't really know why you do the things you do. I'm always going to keep saying that. You don't know why you do the things you do all the time. Unless you read or someone educates you on it, or you watch a movie or something that kind of explains it for you. That's about it. Now, what I mean by that is like skin picking, right? Skin picking is self-harm. Cutting yourself is obviously self-harm. People burn themselves, right? Self-harm. And people, people hit their head on the wall. People hit walls. I definitely punched me a lot of walls and lockers and things like that. Knowing damn well I shouldn't be doing that, but just when you snap, you snap. And when you get angry, you get angry. And that's just what it is. And it's not the proper way to release that. So, and there's something that I also learned when I was in school, actually last year, 2020, they mentioned a good thing, which was even working out is self-harm. That's a good point. And I don't work out like excessively or anything like that. I work out just enough to get stuff off my mind, blow my mind. I like to push myself and see how flexible I can be, how fast I can be, how strong I can be, how many push-ups I can do, things like that, because it's a mental thing for me. It's not really about being cut up and being in the best shape of my life and having a 12-pack and all these things. I don't care about that. But it was a good point that was brought up in class that there are people who are really abusing their body. Right? Now, I'm not talking about people who do this stuff for a career or because they're fitness coaches and teachers. There's people out here who they seek to, build their body or cut their body short because of how they feel on the inside. And they don't realize that they're doing self-harm, but it is that. And it can be that. There's people who go to the gym. You can think about this, right? People who go to the gym and they just bang out weights nonstop. It's bad for your back if you're not resting properly. They go nonstop. They don't take breaks because they in this mindset of, like no pain, no gain, and blah, blah, blah. And realistically, that's not healthy. You must take breaks. You have to relax sometimes. You have to alternate your workout routine to fit your body and let yourself grow and rest. You have to do that. If you're not doing that, then technically you're killing yourself. You're hurting yourself more than you actually being healthy. Now, I bring that up as self-harm because something I used to do when I was younger is, I used to pick my skin here, even on my feet. Like, I really used to do that. And it's like, I see that I got the damages now, like, permanently for the rest of my life on my hands, but, like, on my feet, I used to pick, like, my skin on my feet so much until it got, like, deep. Like, I'm not afraid to admit that, and let's be honest, a lot of people probably do this. We know people who pick their lip and they bite their nails really bad, like, to the point where there's no nails left and they, like, damn near biting the skin or the meat or whatever on their fingers. We see this all the time, but we just don't stop and think about it. Now, the people who deal with these, most commonly, if you look up articles and videos about people who pick their skin, pick their lips, suck their thumbs, chew their nails, chew their skin, all this, chew their tongue, like, I've seen people bite their tongue and chew their tongue, like, as they talk and stuff like that, grind their teeth. All these things are mostly related to anxiety. Mostly related to anxiety and high stress people, right? And a lot of time people who deal with these things have been through, bad social things. They've been abused. They had a rough childhood. Maybe their workload is just too hard. It doesn't even always have to be traumatic. The word trauma has just been tossed around and thrown around a lot over the last 2-3 years so much. It gets on my nerves. But it's not even always traumatic things. Sometimes we have jobs or sometimes we have family members or friends that stress us out. And that can push you to feel anxiety, to feel depressed, to feel lonely, to feel guilty, to feel any kind of emotion. And I bring up that self-harm because a lot of young people do this to themselves. And I mean, not that adults don't do it, but, my core focus is the younger people because, as I always say, I feel like in my younger years, if some kind of adult would have had peeped how I felt about certain things, I wouldn't be so angry. If someone had told me the things that I needed to hear and I needed to know, it would have been different. Like a lot of things would have been different. I wouldn't have done a lot of things. I probably would have been more focused. I wouldn't have had to do credit recovery because I would have graduated late. Things like that. Now, lastly, I just want to say one thing, and that is, you know what? Some people don't stop self-harm. They don't. They can grow into full adulthood and be 40, 50, 60 years old and live their life and never stop self-harming, ever. And the reality is, with all mental health and all disorders and all kinds of things, some people don't get healing. I have to point this out all the time because we got people out here who like to sell false dreams that, you can push through anything, and if you pray hard enough, you can get over this and that. I'm not saying prayer don't work. Don't ever say that. I don't ever put those words in my mouth. I never said that. All I'm saying is that sometimes when we know it's true, we've seen people fight cancer, fight diabetes, fight sickle cell, fight, different disorder, any disorder names, diseases you can think of. People fight all kinds of things. And they pray their souls out, and they are devout Christians, devout Muslim, devout Jews, whatever their religion, spiritual practice, and they believe hard, but they don't make it. They don't make it, right? I bet you right now there's somebody with a family member in a mental home or that has a mental disorder, and they keep saying pray about it, and this person has not gotten better. Has not. I know friends and family and whatnot who deal with this stuff, and they're not getting any better. They're managing, but are they getting better? Not necessarily, depending on how you look at it. So I'm going to wrap that up. Self-harm can be a product of you being angry. I know that skin picking is like the least. I never cut myself. I never did that. But some people do, and they really struggle with this. I was actually having a good discussion about girls who make themselves throw up and, have, anorexia nervosa. That's the condition. Things like that. Always thinking they're overweight and whatnot and wanting to do that to themselves. They can't help it. They don't know that. Mentally, they have a voice in their head and things telling them that this is what they need to do. And it's self-harm. You're ruining your metabolism. You're stunning your growth. You may not get taller. You may never put weight on because you're hurting yourself. So I'm going to wrap that up. I said that already. But just check that out. Look up and look into it. And if you're a person deal with this, get help. Talk to someone about it. Study it more so you can know why you do what you do. Understand that you're not the only one. Thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe if you're on YouTube. Give me a follow if you're on Instagram. Make sure you comment. I prefer comments over likes, but mostly share. Thanks.